And we are live on another edition of the K and K Sports Show, NFL Preview Show 2024. Before we get to opening statement, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Rosen for an important statement tonight.
Thank you, Kurt. Just before we get started, just wanted to tell everyone that we want to, with heavy hearts, think about the folks down in Georgia. 2 students and 2 teachers lost their life in a senseless, tragic uh, shooting in a school in Georgia, in a high school in Georgia. And we just want to think of all the families and the communities that have been affected by this senseless, tragic situation. And we would just like to have a moment of silence to remember those folks this evening. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Well, boys, we're here, right? We're here 24 hours from now. We'll have NFL football. Felt like forever ago. It was a Super Bowl between San Fran, cover your ears, Carson, San Fran, and the Chiefs. But we're here. And I know I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it. And everybody's excited about it. So 405 can't come fast enough for me on Sunday. Mr. Carson Shear.
What's up, guys? How we doing? Looking forward to tomorrow night. Football's back, boys. Let's rock and roll. And yeah, good to see everybody watching in the stream as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please join in on the conversation. We'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions as well.
Guys, we got our good friend Jay Cook checking in with us. Good evening. What's up, Jay?
Hey, Jay.
What's up, Jay?
Hey.
Always a pleasure seeing you hanging out with you on our shows. Always welcome addition.
Mr. Rosen.
Good evening again, gentlemen. Good evening, everybody. Looking forward to a great show, NFL preview. Well, let's just say we're excited or hope to be excited about our Giants this year, but overall, always NFL fans. So let's get going tonight.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Like everybody said, excited about this show, but you know what? Week 1 is always exciting because you know what? No matter how good or bad you're projected to finish, we all have the same record week 1. So let's go. Let's go. Maybe we can, maybe we'll all come back next week 1-0 and we'll have some fun heading into week 2. But week by week, but week 1, it's a new slate, 0-0 record. Let's go.
Kenny, I also have some bad news that, you and I, and you know what? Let's say, because it's one of our friends who we did know growing up, and Jay Cook is saying, I did know this because I saw this today on Facebook, and my sister Jody told me that we lost a good childhood friend, Kenny, today in Ty McCullough. So I just want to say prayers to Ty's family. Unbelievable basketball player, Kenny, growing up. One of the best our high school Garfield has ever seen. So rest in peace, Ty.
He was one of those guys. Ty was older than us, but he treated the younger freshmen as freshmen. He treated us like, he had a soft spot for us. We didn't have he wasn't a bully or any of that. Like freshmen get picked on. No, he actually was our big brother in high school. So he will be missed, Thank you, Jay, for sharing that.
Thank you, Jay. Okay, Mr. Kirkpatrick. So am I turning it over to you or Mr. Rosen?
Yeah, I'll turn it off. We could just tell everybody what we got going here. NFL preview. Jay's out there in the audience right now. A lot of people I see people are coming in as we're speaking. So whatever you guys want to do. Jay, you're a Steeler fan. Throw some Steeler questions out. We're going to break down the Steelers in a little bit. You break down the division. So you have any questions on the Steelers, NFL, throw them out at us and we'll interact with you and answer them in the best of our knowledge. And then I'm going to start off. We're going to break down division by division in around approximately 2 minutes each division so we can get to some other questions. But we're going to start with the NFC East. And Paul, I'm going to let you take the NFC East. You as a Giants fan, we got the Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders in that division. So tell us what your expectations are in the division and break it down for us.
All right. Well, I went a little team by team, but you'll get the sense when I go through it. So while the Eagles and Cowboys will continue to top the division, the Giants and the Commanders probably have made a little inroad to tighten the division up. But with Dan Quinn now the head coach of the Commanders, ironically, the other three coaches in the division, Mike McCarthy, Nick Sirianni, and Brian Dable, all could be on the hot seat. So are the Eagles the team that went 26-5 from the beginning of 2022 to the 12th week of last year, or are they the team that lost 5 out of 6 and got their butts kicked in the playoffs against the Bucs? The Eagles brought in 2 new coordinators, Kellen Moore and old friend Vic Fangio. And oh, by the way, they signed some guy by the name of Saquon Barkley, but they have lost 2 key veterans in Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox. Cowboys, of course, signed CeeDee Lamb to that new extension. And at least for this season anyway, they still have Dak Prescott at quarterback. But with old retreads like Zeke Elliott and Dalvin Cook, what will their running game look like? Cowboys led the league last year in points scored, but who knows what their offense is going to look like this year. They brought in Mike Zimmer to replace Dan Quinn as defensive coordinator. And oh, by the way, of course, he has head coach experience. So Mike McCarthy better not get too comfortable. And here's a fun fact about the Cowboys. Since their last Super Bowl in 1995, they are closer to the first man walking on the moon 26 years since 1995 to the present, winning their last Super Bowl, which is 29 years. So for all the negative press, social media, criticism, fan hand-wringing, the Giants' success will be resting on the arm and the legs of Daniel Jones. Simple as that. He must stay healthy for the Giants to be competitive. It goes down to that. They've added electric rookie Malik Neighbors, and they brought in a lot of veteran offensive linemen to hopefully block for him and keep him upright. And they've added Brian Burns to Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Bobby Okereke, and Deonte Banks to form hopefully a pretty good defense. And as I said, Dan Quinn is the new head coach of the Commanders, and he brought in a lot of defensive help, a lot of veterans, Bobby Wagner, Dorrance Armstrong from the Cowboys, Dante Fowler, who played with the Cowboys last year, and Jeremy Chin. Of course, the key newcomers is the Heisman Trophy winner, Jalen Daniels, the quarterback, the Commanders, and they brought in Austin Eckler to help with the offense. Zach Ernst is going to be the tight end. And they brought in, Dan Quinn brought in at center Tyler Biazde from the Cowboys to anchor their offensive line. Quinn's presence hopefully will better their defense. The Commanders gave up 518 points last year, which was the most in the league. So hopefully their defense will be better. And lastly, Daniels will be electric at times, but as most rookie quarterbacks, he's going to wind up having a lot of ups and some downs. And hopefully he'll be better for Coach Breslin's Commanders. And do you want me to give you the division winner?
Yeah, give us your division winner, Paul, and then we'll get comments, and then we'll move on to the NFC North.
Okay. As much as it pains me to say, I still think the Eagles have the best overall team in the NFC East. So I'm going to pick the Eagles to win the division.
Yeah, it's probably
guys. Real quick, Kenny, couple comments, and I don't know. There must be is there a full moon tonight, guys? Because we got a couple of comments. Keith is saying Giants shock the world and take home the NFC East.
Let's go,
And
Keith.
Manny,
All
and
right.
Manny's saying, "Let's go Cowboys! We're winning the Super Bowl this year, and Dak's the MVP." So I don't
Oh
know.
boy.
There must be some kind of full moon tonight.
I'll
couple
agree with you, Kurt.
Couple other comments. Eddie Murphy. Good evening, gentlemen. Happy start of football
Hey,
season.
Eddie.
Hope
Hey, Eddie.
everyone has a healthy team except the East, not named the Giants. LOL. There's my good friend Wayne Horton. And Wayne, Broncos show at 10 tonight. Go Broncos. We are all in bed with Sean and Bo. Absolutely. Our good friend Trevor Salzman, Denver Bronco Roundup, along with Keith
Hey,
Brugman,
Trevor.
Albert Knoppers,
Trevor.
and Jody Moncrief. Thoughts and prayers are with those in Georgia. Great to see you guys. Thank you for all that you guys do. Have a great show, boys. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you. And
Jay
Jay throwing his prediction out there.
Look at Wayne.
Not going to go well. Not going to go well with Bronco fans. Jay saying Steelers win the Super Bowl.
Hey, can you imagine that?
All right, guys. We're going to move on.
A year too late.
We're going to move on to our next division. It's going to give this one to Carson as the Detroit Lions fan. High expectations for them, Carson. I'm going to let you take it away. You take as much time as you want, my friend. It's your division, and you got a very solid team in the Lions.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, I'll make it fast here. So Minnesota Vikings, I just feel so bad for you guys. Can't stay healthy, keep getting injured. Players getting DUIs in the offseason. J.J. McCarthy, season-ending knee surgery, which is really unfortunate. So hopefully he can get back healthy and better soon. They do still have the best wide receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. They signed Aaron Jones this year. So we'll see what happens with the Minnesota Vikings this season in the NFC North with Sam Darnold now, who, in my opinion, this is do or die for his career this season. He has to perform well if he wants to keep being a starting quarterback in the NFL. So that's kind of the whole spiel on the Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay Packers, man, listen, Jordan Love's a great quarterback, but I don't think he's the best, the most highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And they just paid him like that. And that's official. He signed a crazy deal, highest paid quarterback in NFL history. He had probably the best year of his career last season. And it kind of really irritates the hell out of me because the Packers have been blessed with so many great quarterbacks years after years after years with Brett Favre, with Aaron Rodgers, and now with Jordan Love. In that offense, man. So we'll see what happens. They got Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks. They still got Luke Musgrave as their tight end, and now Josh Jacobs coming from the Raiders to the Packers in that run game. So we'll see what happens with the Green Bay Packers, and then the hot Chicago Bears, man. They got a gift from God from the Carolina Panthers when their GM completely screwed themselves, and the Bears got the number one pick to fall right in their lap from that horrendous trade they did with the Chicago Bears. They took Bryce Young, and then the Panthers finished worst in the NFL. So the Rights got to go to the number one pick with the Chicago Bears, and they took Caleb Williams. He's supposed to be the next coming of Patrick Mahomes. We'll see what happens. They got a great wide receiving core in Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen. So we'll see what happens with the Chicago Bears as well, and DJ Moore as well. They just paid him a crazy amount of money. DeAndre Swift is their running back in Chicago, an improved defense. So we'll see what happens with the Chicago Bears this season. A lot of hype and pressure around them to finally nail their quarterback, and I think they did finally get it with Caleb Williams. And it's my Detroit Lions, man. It haunts me to my core every single day. We were up literally double digits at halftime in the NFC Championship game last year against the 49ers. Me and my friends were talking about the Super Bowl party. We can't freaking believe it. And then we just completely exploded in the second half. Everything that could have went wrong. We're looking to bounce back this year. We got the Rams Sunday Night Football, Stafford coming back. I'm looking forward to that. My opinion, the best 1-2 running back punch duo in the NFL. It's Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. You got the best O-line in football now. We upgraded our O-line. Kevin Zeitler coming from the Ravens. Penei Sewell just paid him a crazy amount of money. One of the best tackles in the NFL. Jared Goff, I think, is going to have an MVP type season this year. I believe he only has 2 games this entire season where he plays outdoors, and the rest of the games are in domes. So watch out for Jared Goff as a dark horse for MVP. And then we still got Aiden Hutchinson in an improved D-line. We signed DJ Reader. We signed Carlton Davis on our secondary. And Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson both came back, who were hot commodities for head coaching jobs in the offseason, but they wanted to come back. And man, Detroit Lions, this could be the year. I've been waiting 25 years for this, and there's a legit chance that the Lions could be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. So, that's kind of the NFC North, a really interesting division this year. We'll see what happens, but I think the Lions are going to take the North once again.
Nice, Carson. Kurt, I'll let you catch up with the comments. They're coming in hot and heavy.
Okay. A couple comments. Eddie Murphy saying a couple things. What Manny is saying. There's Jay saying, "Thanks, Kurt. I love you, bro." Listen, I'm telling you right now, if the Steelers, listen, I know people are going to be angry with me with the Bronco fans, but you know what? Give Russell Wilson a legit defense and a run game, and a coach that's going to stick with it. And listen, I'm high on Pittsburgh. I really am. Manny, watch out for Houston. Eddie Murphy, if the Giants shock the world and win the East, I'll go live and do the sexy Dexy dance. Not that you guys want to see that.
Kurt, I want to one-up that, Kurt. If the Giants shock the world, Keith Brugman, Kurt Valenti, the 4 of us got to learn the sexy dance as well. Trevor, everybody learns the sexy Dexy dance, and we do it live on the show.
I want to see him do it topless.
I might do it completely nude because that's not happening. Eddie Murphy.
You heard that, everybody.
An analyst said Darnold is going to throw for 400 yards this Sunday. Or agree or disagree?
Oh, God.
Wayne saying, "Hey, the G-men have a chance, so you might find yourself being called out." Manny saying Houston and Detroit teams to watch. Trevor, Josh Jacobs will be huge for the Packers. I think he will take some pressure off of Love. Keith, let's go Lions. Keith, take the points, Dan. Eddie, Carson don't want to hear that, right? Take the points, Dan, in the playoff game. Eddie Murphy, is this NFC North talk or Detroit Lions talk? LOL, just talk, just kidding. Keith saying, I love DJ Reader. Manny, you're going to wait another 25 years, LOL.
I hope not, Manny.
Wayne saying, I can see the Lions making the NFC Championship game again. Jay saying, I've been a fan being a Garfield kid, only been involved in sports since 78. I have to stick with my brother. There you go.
Kurt, I'm going to throw a quick rapid fire one out for Paul. This division, Paul, Jared Goff, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold. Rank the quarterbacks 1 through 4.
Goff 1, Love 2, Caleb Williams 3, Darnold 4.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. You don't know it yet with Caleb Williams. I was curious where you were going to put Caleb. So
no, I can't over Love and
right.
No way.
All right, fellas, I'm going to bring up the next division, and I'm going to take it real quick. It's probably, in my opinion, the weakest division in all of football, and that's the NFC South. You got last year's NFC South division champs, the Buccaneers. They bring back Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That's going to be their 3-headed monster. Don't sleep on Rachaad White, sleeper running back over there in Tampa Bay. Defensive side of the ball, not too many big names, but they got Todd Bowles, and Bowles is a defensive mind. Atlanta made the most moves in the offseason, the biggest move in the offseason, I should say, and bringing Kirk Cousins over as a free agent from Minnesota, signed him to a deal. And then what do? They shocked the world in the draft and draft Michael Penix. Made no sense of that pick, in my opinion, if you're going to go out and get the veteran quarterback, but they did. So they made noise in the offseason in draft, and they made noise in the offseason as well in free agency. Offense is going to be high-powered with Drake London. I'm expecting a big year out of him. Kyle Pitts, make-or-break season. And Bijan Robinson, who I've nicknamed Bijan Mustard. So let's see how he can do. Defense is going to be the question there. You know, they picked up a couple guys, made some trades late. So Falcons going to be a dangerous team in the NFC South. And then two teams, in my opinion, that I think are going to struggle at the bottom of not only the division, but the league. I think the Saints are for a long year. Derek Carr is getting only older. Kamara is getting older. The Taysom Hill project, I think that's old news. Jordan on defense, I think they're an old team getting older, and I think they may be one of the bottom teams in the league. And then what can you say about the Panthers? I mean, like Carson said before, the Bears, make a trade, and what do? They get the first pick. Bryce Young has not performed what everybody thought he would be. I think they're in for another long struggle this year. They did add Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette in the offseason through free agency and draft. So their passing game can be a little better. They did draft Jonathan Brooks. So they're taking baby steps, but I still think they're in for a big struggle. They did trade Brian Birds to mine and Paul's Giants. My prediction in this division, I'm going to go a team that everybody's sleeping on. Everybody's high on the Falcons, but I'm going to take the Buccaneers in another 9-8 season. The Buccaneers are going to bounce back-to-back titles in this division. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, I think they're the difference, and they squeak out a 9-8 season over 8-9 Falcons. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers here, guys.
Okay, couple comments. Trevor saying Kurt's going to be busy dancing in between Sean Payton and Bo Nix. LOL. Jay Cook is saying, Kurt, as you know, as being a Garfield kid as myself, I've been an athlete my whole life. I've been in Pittsburgh. I've been a Steeler fan since 78, having a scrapbook at 6 years old with me and John Sanders. I have to stick with him, bro. I love that. You know what I love about that, guys, is that just like I am too, thick and thin, you just don't, hey, okay, Broncos win the Super Bowl, I'm around. You know what? I love them, and I'm still a fan even when they win 3 games. And that's how Jay is. So I love it. Kenny, Keith is saying, rank the QBs in the NFC South, please.
This is a good one, because at the bottom, I'm going to go Bryce Young at the bottom. 1-win season last year. I know he didn't have many weapons, but CJ Stroud did it. Bryce Young didn't. So I'm going to go Bryce at the bottom. Keith, I'm going to go Derek Carr 3. Been in the league a while. I don't think Carr's getting any better. Here's where it's tough, and here's where people may disagree. 1 and 2. Right now, I'm going to go Kirk Cousins number 2 because of Baker Mayfield's bounce back season last year and going up and beating the Eagles in the playoffs last year. Came out of nowhere, got the Buccaneers to the playoffs. This can flip-flop, Keith, during the season, after the season, but right now I'm going to take Baker slight edge over Kirk, but very close. All right, next division, Kurt, you ready?
Yes, I am.
You're up, my friend. We're going to take the NFC West.
NFC West. All right, well, the NFC West obviously starts with the defending NFC champion San Francisco 49ers, led by who I believe is one of the top 3 head coaches, probably a little biased because of his dad, but Kyle Shanahan. I mean, listen, this has been the best team in football the past 4 or 5 years. The only thing they haven't done is won a Super Bowl. Came close twice. Listen, they probably should have won 2. But you know what? Truth of the matter is they didn't get the job done. Brock Purdy, again, they're doing what every team wishes and that they can dream about, right? Have a quarterback. I mean, what is his salary? $900,000. When you have a salary like that, what do? You load up and you get everybody. This team is absolutely loaded. The whole Brandon Ayuk thing is done. So now him and Samuel are back. You got, I believe, the best player in football, and Christian McCaffrey back there as a running back, in the best offensive minds game with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, plug and play anybody. Kenny back there probably could run for 1,200 yards in that offense. It's just, that's the way that Shanahan offense is, right? And now you're putting the best running back behind there, and it's why it's just, he's dominant. You talk about that's offensively. Defensively, I mean, they're the San Francisco 49ers. Talent all over the field. And you know what? Hey, they're the favorites to probably get, I would say they are the favorites to get back to the Super Bowl. But again, listen, bitter taste in their mouth because there's no reason, there's no way they shouldn't have won that Super Bowl. They let that Super Bowl slip out of their hands last year, but absolutely, in my opinion, the front runner for that division. Then we go over to the Rams, a team a lot of people forgot about, right? A couple years ago, Super Bowl champ Sean McVay, Carson's boy Matthew Stafford gets the job done, finally wins a Super Bowl. You talk about offensive talent. You got Puka. Everyone forgot about Cooper Kupp, right? I mean, 2 years ago, he's the best best receiver in the league. Now it's, oh, who's Cooper Kupp? Well, you're going to see, because if he's your number 2 receiver, that's pretty damn good. Bring in your boy, Paul, Mr. Williams there in the backfield. Again, he runs the Shanahan.
Sir.
He runs the Shanahan offense too. So what are they going to do? Run the ball, play action. Listen, it's why they win. It's no secret. That's the best offense in football. That Shanahan offense is the best offense in football. It's why they're so successful on the ground. And again, the Rams, in my opinion, are going to be a very, very sneaky team. They've got hit hard with injuries last year. But even though they were still in games, right? There were games, no Cooper Kupp, some games, no. And, even like when Stafford, I mean, it's just if Stafford's there and that team's healthy, this team single-handedly can win the NFC West. Then we go to a team my Denver Broncos are playing on Sunday, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm not going to bash Geno Smith tonight. I'm not. But I'm actually shocked that he's still the starting quarterback of this team. I really am. I thought that would, he would get his chance, wouldn't pan out, and they would replace him, but they didn't. So he's still there. Carson, your boy, Mr. Running Back over there, who's going to be problem number 1 for us on Sunday, Mr. Walker, right? I mean, stud running back there. You talk about weapons, DK Metcalf, Lockett. What's the Ohio State kid? What's his name?
JSN.
Smith.
Jigba.
I mean, again, another team, new head coach, Mike McDonald there. Are they going to go more to a defensive team? Again, San Fran's a defensive team. The Rams have been a defensive team. Seattle, the past couple of years have been, we're going to score 30 points and give up 33 and lose 33-30 in games. Are they going to adjust more, become more of a run the ball team, and become a defensive team? So, again, athletes all over the field, explosive offensively. We will see defensively. The thing again with them, one of the toughest, best home field advantages in football. It's why I'm worried on Sunday. This place is going to be loud. It's crazy. It's probably going to rain some point during the game over there, because it always does. But again, another team, I'm not going to say they can win the division. Can they be in the wild card race? Absolutely. And then we got the Arizona Cardinals. Kenny, we do our inside joke about Jonathan Gannon, but hey, I mean, he did play hard with this team. He did have this team playing hard. I mean, this team's going to go as Kyler Murray goes, right? When Kyler Murray was hurt, and even though he came back last year, he really wasn't the old Kyler Murray. I think we're going to see the real Kyler Murray again this year, meaning more of the running guy. Obviously, listen, he's a great passer, but he also can run. Last year, coming back from an injury, they kind of, held him back a little bit like that. Keith is saying, Kurt, Geno Smith or Kyler Murray? Oh, I'm going Kyler Murray. I actually like Kyler Murray. But this team is going to go with Kyler Murray. Jonathan Gannon is a defensive guy. But yeah, I don't know. With a quarterback like him, I think, they have to kind of play an up tempo, and I don't know if Kyler Murray's going to fit that kind of scheme that Gannon's going to want. So I think kind of Gannon's going to have to give in on that and let it be the Kyler Murray show and try to outscore teams. Couple other comments. Keith is saying Seahawks have absolutely rebuilt their defense stout. On paper. So we will see. It's very hard to just adjust and, all right, we're going to be an offensive team and now we're going to turn around and become a defensive team. So we'll see if they can do it. I think this is a great division. I honestly think the Rams can beat anybody in football, but until you beat the man, I'm sorry. How do you say it? To be the man, you got to beat the man. And San Fran is the best team in this division. I still think San Fran is one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. We'll get to our NFC championship predictions in a bit. So I am going to take Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, and that amount of talent to repeat as NFC West champions.
Good pick, Kurt. Good pick. I'm going to give this one to Carson. I gave the North to Paul. So Carson, rank the 4 quarterbacks in this division. It could be 3 at the top here that can go in any way of the 3 of them, I think.
Stafford, Purdy, Kyler, Geno.
Fair. I was at that top 3, you can really flip flop anyway there. So Stafford, I would have went that way too. I think I put Kyler Murray too. I don't know, but that's my opinion. But going to shift gears now, fellas. We're going to shift to the AFC. First conference up is going to be taken by Paul, and that's a good one. It's the AFC East.
Okay, thanks, Kenny. I don't know if Beelan's out there, but I think he'll be happy after hearing this. So Jets, Jets, but better spelled AR, because Aaron Rodgers must stay healthy, for the team to take flight, for the Jets to do well this year. Garrett Wilson, Bryce Hall are stars. So those guys are going to really add to the Jet offense. They brought in Mike Williams. They're going to bring him along slowly. But if he's healthy, or at least 90% of what he was with the Chargers, that's another added weapon. And they have a kid, Malachi Corley, who's going to be also an exciting player to watch for them. They fortified their offensive line. They brought in one of the all-time, probably future Hall of Famer, Tyron Smith, and Morgan Moses to help at the tackles, and hopefully they'll stay healthy. Jets could have a top 5 defense. I mean, at every level, they have stars. Quinnen Williams, C.J. Mosley, of course, all-world Sauce Gardner, and his counterpart in the secondary, DJ Reed. And I love Jermaine Johnson, and a kid they drafted last year, or this year, Will McDonald, who's going to be ferocious at end. So those guys are going to really add to the Jet defense. So will Josh Allen continue to be elite, or does Buffalo take a step back this year? I have a feeling that they will. No Stephon Diggs, no Gabe Davis. He's gone. But Dalton Kincaid, I think, is going to step up, and could be a Travis Kelce type of tight end to help them. They have a big kid, Keenan Coleman from Florida State, brought in as a rookie, and a guy I always liked with the Commanders, Curtis Samuel, could be a sort of a Deebo Samuel light type of all-round player for the Bills. And of course, James Cook is a pending star at running back. Defense has turned over, especially in the secondary, but they're battling age with Von Miller and injuries with Mike Milano. So their defense is sort of up in the air. Speed kills, and no team has an Olympic-like 4x100 team like the Dolphins do. Noah Lyles' best friend, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane.
Devon Achane. Yeah, I know that. It's a chain.
Of course, is going to be led by Tua with his new big contract. So, but what happens when the weather gets cold? I don't know how speed is going to be in December and January. Their defense, they brought in a lot of veterans, Calais Campbell, Jordan Poyer from Buffalo, but Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips coming back from injuries, so they may not be 100% at the beginning of the season. Then we go, unfortunately, to New England, and when's the last time, and how strange is it to say New England is not being coached by Bill Belichick this year. It's going to be a long season for New England between their quarterbacks. Jacoby Brissett will hold the position in place until Drake May gets a little better and more experience, and then they'll toss him in there. But their all total team is just very, very weak. They don't have a large skill set group of players. They brought in Antonio Gibson, also from the Commanders, a rookie who might actually be pretty good, Jalen Polk. But overall, the team is not going to be that great. I wouldn't be shocked if next year they're going to be first up to be on the clock for the number 1 pick in the draft. So with all that being said, for the first time since 2002, I think the Jets win this division, and I think they're gonna go kind of far in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Keith is saying Jets, a lot of if scenarios. Dolphins, a lot of if scenarios. Patriots, good UFL team. Bills, only if is whether they can make it past the Chiefs. Buffalo Bills, division winners.
Nice take. Kurt, I'm going to throw you a question. Paul, you picked the Jets. Keith went
Yes.
with the Bills. Kurt, I'm going to throw a question at you. How soon do we see Drake May?
Third quarter, opening week. I mean, do you want to see Jacoby Brissett? Why do you want to see Jacoby
Not if
Brissett?
I'm a Patriots fan. Not
Let's
if I'm
go.
a Patriots
What-
fan. I wouldn't
what
go
am
to
I-
a game. Like, I want to see my rookie quarterback. I don't want to see
Exactly.
Jacoby Brissett.
It's a waste of time. A waste of time playing Jacoby Brissett. Waste of time.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Kurt. All right, so that's AFC East. Great job, Paul, covering the NFC and AFC East. Going to give back to Carson now for the black and blue division. They call that the NFC North, but how about the AFC North? Look at these teams on here, Carson. Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. Take it away.
Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, Baltimore Ravens, they square off against the defending champs tomorrow night. They got a guy who I think is going to be an absolute monster this season, and Derrick Henry, the read option with him and Lamar, the former MVP last season. It's going to be absolute nightmares for opposing defenses to stop that run. So we'll see what happens. We just mentioned Joey, Kenny, and I on our Wits and Wages shows. They have a new defensive coordinator now on the Baltimore Ravens as well. But I think the Ravens should be dangerous this year. They still got Zay Flowers as well as their wide receiver 1, Rashad Bateman, and Lamar Jackson. So should be interesting with the Ravens. You got the Cleveland Browns. No Nick Chubb this season. Hopefully he can recover soon. He's been dealing with injuries after injuries. Hopefully he had a really bad injury. I believe it was Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football where he basically dislocated his knee. He's been rehabbing like crazy. He's expected to be back halfway through the season, but Jerome Ford is going to be at the realm with the running back spot, and then Deshaun Watson's back and healthy. Controversial quarterback, but that's who they have at the realm in Cleveland. Amari Cooper, an absolute stud wide receiver in him. Myles Garrett and their coaching staff has been great last season. I think they continue their dominance on defense as well, with Myles Garrett leading the way. And then you got Joe Burrow, man, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow got injured last season. He's back. He's ready to go. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. We'll see what happens. No Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's now on the Houston Texans, but it's going to be a battle for the running back spot between Chase Brown and Zach Moss. Pretty decent defense as well. He's still got Jamar Chase. Who knows what's going to happen with that? He was practicing today, but no contract extension as of now just yet. And they play in less than 5 days. So, it should be interesting to see what happens with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But I think the Bengals, you could definitely consider them Super Bowl contenders this season as well. And then the biggest question mark in this division, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Mike Tomlin is still their head coach, man. He has been absolutely outstanding in his tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers, producing a winning season every season he's been there. It's going to be Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback. Kurt's very familiar with Russell Wilson, so we'll see what happens with him in Pittsburgh, wishing him the best. And then we'll see if Justin Fields gets his shot. We'll see how they're going to experiment with that. Fields could be a Taysom Hill type role this season. And in my opinion, this is the player that should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year with TJ Watt. The guy's an absolute monster. In my opinion, I think the best defensive player in the entire National Football League. I think Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, that's a pretty legit 1-2 punch backfield with the Steelers. And I think they're going to make some noise, man. Do not sleep on the Steelers this season. So if I had to pick right out the gate, I think I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they have a bounce back year. I think Joe Burrow is going to produce another MVP type light candidate season. He's healthy. He's ready to go. See what happens with Jamar Chase. But if I had to pick a winner out of this division, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wayne is saying the best quarterback in the AFC East is Josh Allen. Buffalo will surprise you all. And Carson, Keith is saying, rank the AFC North defenses, please.
Wow. Yeah, they're all really good. You got Ravens, who are a pretty dominant defense. The Steelers have been the Steelers with TJ Watt. They've been pretty good defensively as well. The Browns, I think you could throw them up there as a top 3 defense last year in the National Football League. I mean, they basically had injury after injury, won a ton of games because of their defense, along with Myles Garrett. I'd probably say the weakest would be the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a decent defense, but if I had to rank them 1 through 4, I'd probably put Ravens 1, Browns 2, Steelers 3, Bengals 4.
That's tough.
I think
Really
the toughest.
tough.
I think that these
it's hard.
are all top 10 defenses.
Yeah,
but
all of them
you
are
know,
really
so
good defenses.
being ranked 4 in this division is not bad because you're still a top 10. No, great job, Carson, on the AFC North. Next division's a good one. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, guys, so we can catch up on time. Give Kurt a couple minutes. His AFC West is coming up, so we all had a couple minutes with our division. So give Kurt the time. I'm going to come right to it. Probably the most exciting division, underrated division here with all the 4 young quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is the veteran of this group, and he's only been in the league, 4 years, Kurt? And they just signed him to a huge contract, biggest in football, $275, 5 years, 45 years, 200 guaranteed. He got his big payday. The other 3 are still on rookie contracts. And I'll start at the top. The surprise team last year, C.J. Stroud, proved me wrong. An Ohio State quarterback finally did something good in the NFL. Exceeded expectations last year. Are you going to maybe see them fall down to earth this year? You got a lot of people saying Super Bowl contenders. They brought in some big names. Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, Will Anderson leading the defense, Derek Stingley, Daniil Hunter. They got players all around, and rightfully so. They should be the favorites in this division. I just mentioned Trevor Lawrence getting his big payday 2 years ago. They were the team that surprised in this division, and last year they had a little hangover from it. So do they bounce back? Travis Etienne, love him at running back. Christian Kirk, they brought in the other LSU receiver in the draft, Brian Thomas. I think he could be a sleeper on offense there. But you know what? I think they're going to have to put up a lot of points because their defense may be question mark. And then probably the biggest question mark that a lot of people have, Anthony Richardson. Is he going to be, not C.J. Stroud-like? Is he going to be Anthony Richardson-like he was in college football? Is he going to make plays, or is he going to be bust like a lot of people are saying? He only played 4 games last year. Very young. We're going to see if he bounces back. Jonathan Taylor's back. That's a big addition for them. Michael Pittman and Laitu Latu and Quentin Nelson leading the offensive line, and their star rookie first-round pick, Laitu Latu, expecting a lot of things from him on the defensive side. And then I know Carson and I covered this on Wits and Wagers. A team that I think could be sneaky is the Tennessee Titans. Everybody's counting them out. Will Levis, is probably by far the 4th ranked quarterback on paper in this division, but why? He's got weapons over there. He's got Calvin Ridley comes over from Jacksonville. Christian Kirk is over there. Not Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Treylon Burks, DeAndre Hopkins will be back. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears. The offensive line I mentioned earlier, Skoronski and J.C. Latham, they're going to be running the ball over there. They're going to be a sneaky team in this AFC South. Defense is a little weak. Not too many names there, except for the big guy that we all know that was drafted, Tavondre Sweat. So we'll see how he's if he becomes the run stopper I'm expecting. And Titans may be a sneaky team, but for division in this one, I'm reluctantly going to go to Texans, but I could see any 4 of these teams winning this division. But I'm going to reluctantly take the Texans, not with high confidence like everybody else. And I could see this being a 10-win division winner here in this division because it's going to be competitive.
Keith is saying, here's the worst division. CJ Stroud will have to repeat, can't fall off the map. And Lawrence, Levis, and Richardson scare me none.
Wow. I think it's going to be, it's one of the rare times I disagree with Keith. I think it's going to be an exciting division. All right, Kurt, I'm going to pass it to you for the final division. Keith's out there. Your Broncos in this division, the AFC West, Kurt.
All right, AFC West obviously starts with the Super Bowl defending back-to-back Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, along with the best quarterback in football, Mr. Mahomes. Listen, days are gone of, okay, Mahomes is throwing for 500 yards and running. Those days are gone. This team now has become a defensive team and a run team, right? Isaiah Pacheco, the kid's a beast, great pick for them. And they're trying to become more of a physical team. You saw that last year in the postseason. Mahomes did not have the numbers, but hey, when the game's on the line, Mahomes makes the plays, just like great quarterbacks do. Rashee Rice came on last year as a great surprise. In trouble. Is he going to play? Is he going to get suspended? I mean, it looks like he is going to be a go. Xavier Worthy. Listen, you give the Chiefs more speed. Is he going to be the Tyreek Hill of this new team for the Chiefs? But again, defensively, a porous run defense, and we look back and you go back and you look at Buffalo. You look back at Buffalo in the playoff game, running over 200 yards last drive. They don't run the ball on them. You look at Baltimore, the best running team in football, on a rainy day, they run it 12 times. They put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands. By the way, tomorrow night, they better run it 60 times. Seriously, because now you got King Henry. You don't even let Lamar throw it 3 times. But that's Kansas City in a nutshell. Next team are Denver Broncos. Sean Payton. Did what he wanted to do. He didn't want to coach Russell Wilson. And you know what? That's why you pay this guy $18 million a year. If that's what he wants, that's what you give him. Why? He has the resume. One of the best coaches in Super Bowl history. One of only a couple coaches to win a Super Bowl. Go handpick your guy. Go get yourself the next Drew Brees. Hopefully he found them in Bo Nix. He did the right thing. No games. I know we'll talk about this at 10 o'clock, but we didn't play games, Kenny. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It was always going to be Bo Nix. He is the starter. He's a captain. That's the way it should be. I think this team is going to be hungry. I think there's a lot more talent than people think. Listen, this team won 8 games last year with a quarterback he didn't want and not too many people that are gone. Justin Simmons, what did he really do? Jerry Jeudy did nothing for us. So, what did you really lose? You added some more offensive talent, and you're still restocking the defense. Today, Mr. Pat Surtain, the best corner in football, locked him up for 4 years. So I think he's doing it the right way. Rookie quarterback, build a running game, build the defense. I'm very excited as a Bronco fan. Then we move over to the Chargers, and this is the team that's going to scare me the most going forward because you got one of the best coaches in the NFL and college football. Wherever this guy goes, all he does is win. Stanford was a mess. He turns them around. The 49ers were a mess, brings them to a Super Bowl. Michigan's a mess. He wins a national title. How does he do it? Physical. He knows the way to win. Run the ball, play defense. He doesn't care who his quarterback is. So again, Justin Herbert, those days of he's throwing for 530 yards, that's not happening anymore. It's not. And it's the way it's going to be. This guy ran the ball, I think, Carson, 6 times in a game last year against Penn State. Was it 6 times he ran the ball? 6 times. Like, this is what this guy does. He knows the formula. He knows how to win. So Justin Herbert, it could be because if Justin Herbert buys in, and if he doesn't, listen, he'll probably be gone. But if he buys in and you run the ball and you protect him, here we go, because it's dangerous. So I don't know if it's going to be a transition season to become, but this team will be physical. They will run the ball. They will play defense. Again, I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but going forward, this is a team that's going to scare me just because of this coach. This coach is one of the best players. It is one of the best coaches in the NFL. And you got the Vegas Raiders, right? Antonio Pierce kept the job, did a nice job. A lot of people probably didn't give him a chance, but I'm not putting Gardner Minshew at quarterback. I'm sorry. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Carson and Paul and Kenny, this is probably one of your competitors next year for Shedeur Sanders and Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers and all those guys, because you're going to have a new quarterback next year, and this team's going to have a new quarterback this year. So this is one of the teams I would be watching. I believe this team will trade off when we make our picks later. Devontae Adams will be in green. He will be with Aaron Rodgers, because I think, listen, a lot of people are saying that deal is done already, and that it'll just, when it's announced, it's announced. And you have, three legit, I know Orlovsky said it, Greenberg said it. There was another insider that said like this deal is done. He is a Jet. It's just, they're not going to do it right now. So I believe the Raiders are the worst team in this division. I believe the Raiders will be picking in a top 3 next year. And I believe the Raiders will be going for one of those quarterbacks. And I think Shedeur Sanders, Kenny, if you want him, this is the team to watch, because if Dion can finagle, where he wants his son, Vegas is nice for Shedeur. So I believe they will not be, they will be last place this year. As for division winners, you still got to go Kansas City. I said to be the man, you got to beat the man. And, I think this division with starting next year is going to be up for grabs. This year, I still think it's Kansas City, but I think Denver's going to be very improved. And Chargers, just because of Harbaugh alone, you're going to see a totally different style of team. So, but I'm going to go Kansas City.
I'll let you catch up on the comments, Kurt. It looks like we're going to go a couple minutes over, because we're not going to go too long. The rest of our questions will be quick hitters. So we're going to go a couple minutes over time, but I'll let you catch up with the comments.
A couple comments. Wayne, it's a coin. I'll go back to the last division. It's a coin toss for me between Texans or Jags. There's Jody Moncrief, Denver Bronco around the boys. It's Bo Nix time. Keith, Kansas City stands alone at the top. Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders will have to prove themselves within the division. Jody saying, Kenny, get on the train. Get on it. Jody saying, who are the Chargers playmakers? The linemen, because they're going to just have to learn the run block. It's not going to matter.
They're going to have one of the best lines. Yeah.
Keith is saying Herbert can't throw for 500 because he doesn't have any receivers. Doesn't matter.
That's McConkey.
That's not what he's going to do. Graham, what's up? Graham saying, Kurt's going to ruffle feathers with that Justin Simmons comment. Keith, the Minshew Magic Show residency now in Las Vegas. Good luck with that. Raiders got rid of Waller at the right time. Trevor saying, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders. I think the Chargers are a team to watch to sneak into the playoffs as a wild card. Jody saying, Paul, we know what Joe Alt brings.
Paul, yes, rapid fire. Rank the 4 head coaches in this division.
Tough.
Yeah. We'll start with the bottom. As much as I love Antonio Pierce, he's got to go 4. Listen, I'll go to 1. Hey, Andy Reid, back-to-back 3 Super Bowls. Listen, guys, all time. He might be on the Mount Rushmore of head coaches. So he's 1. Only because we're talking NFL. Your boy Sean Payton will be 2 and Harbaugh will be 3, but it's very, very close. Notwithstanding national championship, but NFL, he's gotten to the Super Bowl, but Peyton has won one, so I'll go Andy Reid 1, Sean 2, Harbaugh very close third, and Antonio Pierce.
You know what?
4.
This is a crazy Kenny. You had a great question, right? Because think about this right now. In the AFC East, all three of those coaches, there's none of those four teams would take, if you take Andy Reid, Sean Payton, or Jim Harbaugh. Nobody in the AFC East is saying they're going to keep their coaches over any of those three.
Probably
In the NFC East,
Yeah.
who's saying they're keeping their coaches over any of those three guys?
Yeah.
Right? Let's be honest. Let's look in Carson's division. You want to keep Carson's what's his name? I got my mind.
Dan
Campbell. I'll give you. You're taking the Green Bay guy over any of those three guys. I mean, what has he ever won? Right? Like, look at the division. Maybe the NFC West, right? You say Shanahan, McVay, but look, the divisions. You talk Tomlin,
Harbaugh,
the other
John
Harbaugh. There's not many though.
No.
Seriously, there's not many. Is there 10 teams in football that wouldn't take any of those three guys? So,
like we said with the AFC North defenses, you got 2, 3 of the top 10 coaches here in the
Easily.
yeah,
maybe top 5.
yeah.
So, all right, got some quick hitter questions for you guys. We'll catch up a little bit, and then we'll go a couple minutes overtime. So, first question I'll do is the order. Kurt, you're on top of the screen here. But I'm going to get rid of that actually. So we're going to go back to our 4 beautiful faces here. So, first question I got, Kurt, and we'll ask everybody the same question. Give me a surprise team in the AFC and NFC, Kurt. We'll do both.
I got to do 2 in the AFC. I'm taking my Broncos. I think they're going to be. They're going to be a wild card team, and I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm sorry, but you take 2 teams that they won last. I mean, Denver was close to the playoffs, and he didn't want to coach Russell Wilson at all. So now you're giving him an upgrade in his opinion. So why can't you you should be better. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're taking a Hall of Fame quarterback with the mentality of basically transferring him of what he does great and put him with you probably instead of those old Seattle teams that he had. This is the exact team. This is exactly what he does best. So I am going to take Denver and Pittsburgh as my surprise. My NFC surprise, it's not that they're not a good team, but I think this team can be playing in an NFC championship game, and I think that's the Rams. Carson's boy, Matthew Stafford, I'm sorry, he's a top 5 quarter. If I had to take 5 quarterbacks in the NFL to win me a playoff game tomorrow, I'm taking Matthew Stafford. You saw what he could do with McVay. McVay's one of the best coaches. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play defense. They have the weapons when they need them. I'm taking the Rams, not because to win 9 games. I think the Rams could have a shot to win that division and be in an NFC championship game.
Like it. Carson, give me your surprises.
Yeah, surprises. I like that pick a lot, Kurt, by the way. Surprises in the AFC. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. There's a lot of expectations on Anthony Richardson this season. He was pretty good the first couple games of the season, dealt with an injury, missed the rest of the season. I think Jonathan Taylor on that offense will be great. An underrated defense. It's still got Buckner over there on the Colts as well. So I'm going to say Colts in the AFC. NFC, I'm going to give you guys a shocker. I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals. I think this is going to be a revenge breakout season for Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. James Conner's still a great running back as well. And I think the Cardinals are going to surprise a lot of people in the NFC. So I'm going to say Cardinals and Colts.
I'm going to catch up on the comments, Kurt, since I'm doing the quick hitters here. Jody 10-7 playoffs. Denver. Keith saying the Steelers ? Haha. Trevor got the Chargers have invested a first-round pick in a wide receiver, Quentin Johnston, and then a second-round pick in Ladd McConkey. Harbaugh still has Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Derwin James, which I was high on their defense last year, but that disaster they had last year. It's a good point by Trevor. So he's got the Chargers as being sneaky. Keith wants to know, Kurt, what does Russ do great? Take crazy, unnecessary sacks, more of that?
Win.
Paul, let's
We
get
sh-
your surprise.
We shall
and
see. All right.
surprises.
I'm going with Carson's pick with the Colts.
Nice.
I like exactly what he just said. I think Anthony Richardson, I liked him coming out of college, and we'll see what he can do. And as we just talked about the Chargers, there's so much to like about what the Chargers can do with Harbaugh. And my two NFC, they've given this kid as good supporting cast coming out as a first pick, and let's see what the Bears can do with Caleb Williams. And I'm going to pick them as my first surprise team, and I'll go with the Falcons. I think the Falcons adding Kirk Cousins with that offense, they should be much better, and I think they're going to actually get in as a wild card team. So those are my four surprise teams.
I got two. I'm going to go AFC. I'm going to go AFC South as well, but it's going to be the Tennessee Titans. If Will Levis is going to be anything in this league, they gave him the offense to show it. And that includes DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Treylon Burks. Tony Pollard was the man in Dallas 2 years ago. He didn't have a good year last year, so Dallas got rid of him, but he was going to take over for Zeke. He gets a good offensive line in front of him to run the ball. Skoronski and J.C. Latham, just to name two. Cushenberry, Kurt's the center over there, your Bronco guy. They got a good offensive line. Don't sleep on the Tennessee Titans in one of the more competitive, weaker divisions in football, where a 9-win season, 9-10 wins can get you the division. Titans could be a sneaky bet. And people are overlooking the Buccaneers. Hey, they won the NFC South last year. The Falcons made some moves. The Buccaneers brought everybody back. Buccaneers didn't lose anybody. They still got Baker Mayfield. They still got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I said before, Rachaad White, sleeper running back. Buccaneers are going to be my surprise team in the they're going to win the NFC South, and they're going to win a playoff game. And that's going to be my surprise team in the NFC South. Kurt, let's flip it to the other side. Quick question. Wayne's saying, Kurt, AFC surprise team for him, he's going to go Dolphins and Broncos.
Okay.
Disappointing teams, Kurt, real quick.
Oh, I'm opposite of Paul and Carson. I love you guys, but no way. I mean, biggest bust this year is Anthony Richardson. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just Steichen's going to be pulling his hair out. He might not have any hair after the year. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. I think he's an absolute bust. He's just a straight runner. He can't read a defense. He couldn't in Florida. You watch him in the preseason. I watched him in Denver. I'm just missing guys wide open, not knowing who to throw to. I'm not a fan. Personally, I don't know if he's the quarterback there next year. So I'm taking them. And same thing in the NFC. Like Jordan Love. I mean, come on. He had 2-3 good games. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. They're nowhere near better than the Lions. I think the Bears, I take Caleb Williams over him any day of the week. I'm going to go Green Bay. I'm just not a fan. I don't even think they're a playoff team. I don't like the coach. The coach never wins big games. And I'm sorry, but I'm not entrusting my franchise with Jordan Love. He's done nothing. So I'm going to say Indianapolis and Green Bay.
I like him. All right, that's good. I will say, guys, I love you guys too. I'm on board with you. I invested in some Anthony Richardson football cards, so I'm expecting big things out of Anthony Richardson. So Kurt's outnumbered on that one, 3-1. So Carson, your disappointing teams.
Yeah, disappointing teams is a tough one for me. I think it's got to be. Oh wow. You know what, Kurt? I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers. They made Jordan Love the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. And again, he had a great season last year, but that's just flat out ridiculous. He's getting paid over guys like Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow. There's no way that you can tell me and look me in the eyes that Jordan Love is the highest paid quarterback in football, but he is. So, I mean, who knows? He might have a crazy year. He might shut me up in that division. I can totally see it happening. But again, I think the Packers are going to have a down year this year. So I'll say them in the NFC. AFC. What do I want to do in the AFC? You know what? I'm going to say I'm going to say the Texans. You know what? There's a lot of hype with this Texans squad this year, and a lot of pressure is on CJ Stroud to live up to the offensive rookie of the year that he did last year. If he has a down season, be careful on the Houston Texans, man. I want them to succeed. I want them to thrive, but I think there's a chance that they could struggle early on this season. I'll say the Texans. Might be an unpopular pick, but I'm going to say the Houston Texans.
I like it. And do you have one in the NFC?
Yeah, NFC was
Green
the
Bay.
Packers.
Green Bay, you did say that. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I was typing something. And Carson, I'm going to do Carson's Corner after this. I totally forgot about it. And then we'll get predictions. We'll skip
Sure.
some awards for maybe next week. We'll do awards. Paul, your disappointing teams.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Saints in the NFC. I can't see them doing well at all. I think, like you indicated earlier, Kenny, Carr is getting older, and that whole team surrounding him is just getting plain old. So I don't see the Saints competing at all in that relatively easy division. And in the AFC, I think the Bills. This is the year. I think they're going to take a step back, and I think Sean McDermott might be in trouble if they do. I'm not sure. The Bills had that open window of opportunity, and I think this is going to be a sort of a backslide for them. And I'm going to say they're going to be disappointing this year.
Trevor's two surprising teams are the Chargers and Jacksonville in the AFC. I had the Packers, like Carson and Kurt. Packers, I think, like you guys nailed it. LaFleur, not a fan. Jordan Love, what have you done? You've won only a couple games. I need to see it this year. I mean, they lose. They bring in Josh Jacobs. That's fine, but are you sold on their wide receivers? I'm not. So I think they're going to be a little disappointing with the Bears supposedly looking on paper getting a little better. So I could see them being third in the division. AFC, Paul, I had the Bills like you, so I'm going to go just with the other team I had, and it's in the same division. It's not the Jets, the Dolphins, because, look what they did in the cold weather last year. Tua proved he can't play in the cold. So any games in December that Miami's playing up north, they ain't winning. So, I want to see what their December schedule looks like. And their coach is more worried about how he's dressed than what he's putting on than his defense playing in December. So he'll have a parka on and and his UGG boots on the sidelines. So not a fan of him. He's got a high-powered offense. How's that going to work when there's snow on the ground and wind? So that's not going to work. So I'm going to say Dolphins a little disappointing for me, and I'll take those as my two disappointing teams. Carson, we're going to do Carson's Corner. I forgot to do that after our division breakdowns, and then we're going to get into our final predictions.
Yeah, sounds good, Kenny. Running a little bit late on time here, so this will be just really, really rapid fire. My segment was just going to be, we're going to do our over-unders for win totals this season, Kurt's Broncos, Paul and Kenny's Giants, and then my Lions. So this is according to Vegas Insider right now. I'm getting this line at right now. So you know what the heck? We'll start with my Lions first. Bunch of sports books. Over-under wins 10.5, Kenny. Over or under?
Over. I'm going 12 to be exact. 12-5. I think they're going to be. I was just going to say, I'll get 10. We'll do 20 seconds. We don't have to be rapid fire. No, I think they're going to be really good, Carson. They're the team to beat in the NFC. They're hungry. I think they're going to run their division. And you'll maybe have one little hiccup, but Vikings are down. So 5-1 in your division, and then give me 5-6 more games after that out of the last 12. Yeah, I'm on board. Over big time.
Kurt, over under 10.5 wins for the Lions.
Before I answer, I want to give a shout out to Michael Ronquillo saying hello to everybody. What's
What's
up,
up,
Mike?
Hey, Michael.
10 o'clock, Kurt and Jen. 8 p.m. your time.
Kenny, Carson, I love it. Over.
Mm-hmm.
Plain
Paul,
and simple.
over under.
Oh, way over. I'm going 13-4.
Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking either 11-6 or 12-5. So I'm going to take the over here as well. We'll do Kurt's Broncos next. Kurt, You said it in the Wits and Wagers shows, 5.5. I'll start right off the rip. Bo Nix, 6 and 11. I could totally see that happening. I think you guys are going to get 7 and 8 wins this season. So I'm going to smash the over with the Broncos.
Yeah, listen, I'll give you a secret.
Yeah.
Jenny Hoops even said to me, Kurt, you got to put a bet in. She's betting the over. Jenny Hoops is betting the over.
Yeah.
So she's sold. Yeah, I'm going over. Absolutely.
5.5 wins with Sean Payton. That's
absolutely.
Kenny, over under 5.5 for the Broncos.
I went through all these schedules, Kurt and Bronco fans. You guys are going to go over. I wouldn't go to the 10-11 route over, but all you need is 6 to get the over. That you can't win 6 games, then you know what? Sean Payton needs to be gone and Bo Nix needs to be gone. It's that simple. So I'm confident on the over around 7-8 wins for the Broncos.
Paul, over under.
Yeah, I'll go over. Kurt, if you guys don't win 6 games, shame on you.
Yeah.
With your talent, then
100%.
you better wind up putting a bag over your head if they don't win 6 games.
Anything you want to add, Kurt, for your Broncos over under?
No, I'm just listen, Carson. Paul just nailed it. You won 8 games last year with guys he didn't want to coach. So I mean, now he's got his quote unquote guys. How could you not get more than 8? I mean, more than 5.5. He won 8 with a guy he did not want to coach. So I'm, a lot more talent on that team than people think.
For sure. And then we'll go to the Giants, Kenny and Paul's team. Kurt, I'll start with you first. 6.5 over under for the New York Giants.
I've been so nice tonight on this show. Listen,
here it comes, Kenny.
I'm just gonna say this. I had dark days last year. I dealt with dark days. The Sean Payton, I liked Russ. Do I wear my Russell Wilson jersey? That frown turned right upside down. You got to do it. You got to do it. Let it go. Goodbye, Dable. Goodbye, Shane. Goodbye, Daniel Jones. Hello, number 1 draft pick quarterback. Hello, Bill Belichick. And you guys will be competing in 2 years. Under, top 3 draft pick. Wait, on 3 wins. Under, but Giant fans in 2 years, you guys will be so happy.
Interesting. I'll go really fast before I get Paul and Kenny. Again, I'm with Kurt. It's either you're gonna hit this over at like 7 and 10 and get the win, or you're gonna completely crash and burn and be again like a top 3 pick. But again, I watched Hard Knocks. I think I think your GM's doing a great job. You improve your O-line. We'll see what Neighbors does this year. This is a do-or-die season for Daniel Jones. If he doesn't perform, like Kurt's saying, here comes Shedeur Sanders. So 7 wins. Give me 7 wins for the Giants. I'll take the over. Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I've agreed. I've said that it's do or die. You know what kind of a fan I am of Daniel Jones. They're going to go over 7. Maybe I'm saying 9 and 8 with breaks here and there, but I'll say over.
Kenny, over under for your Giants.
Over only because top 10 defense in the league. We just picked up Adoree Jackson. That's a huge pickup for the secondary. Front 4 is going to be the best in football. Thibodeau and Burns. And Kerke and the linebacker leading the linebacking core. We're going to get 7 wins. But that's still, Kurt, going to give us a quarterback next year, whether it's Shedeur Sanders, Carson Beck, or Quinn Ewers, because Joe Shane showed in Hard Knocks that he would trade up for a quarterback.
Well, here's my question. And Carson, I'm going to go to you because you're the non-Giant fan. Isn't that a bad, I think, in my opinion, for Daniel Jones, for all 3 of them, I want 11 wins or 3 wins because that's 7. That's so, what do you do? What do you do at 7 wins?
Yeah.
It's not a good Daniel Jones isn't the future.
I'll answer.
Right. So that's
you get a Bo Nix. You get a Bo Nix.
Right. But I'm saying, so you're moving on from everybody then. That's my question.
Yeah.
You're going to get a quarterback if you, I said Joe Shane will move up. You're getting a quarterback.
But is Joe
Unless
Shane
we make the playoffs, Daniel Jones, unfortunately, is not going to be the Giants' quarterback.
Winning 7 games?
I think, Kurt, to answer your question, I think Daniel Jones has to win at least 8 games this season to keep his job. If he does not win at least 8 games, I think they're searching for a quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
And Shane keeps his job because he's been doing a decent job as the GM, except for the Daniel Jones move, which was needed at the time.
He had no choice at that point.
Interesting. Yeah, that was my quick little rapid fire, guys.
Appreciate it, Carson.
Yep.
All right, guys, last one, and then we'll get closing thoughts in. Kurt, give me your AFC championship and winner, and then we'll get Super Bowl predictions at the end.
All right, I'm gonna try.
No, give me your AFC championship and Super Bowl winner together.
Okay. Well, I got to give you AFC.
Oh, no,
NFC.
just give me your AFC.
Okay.
Give me your AFC champs. That's
My
it.
NFC championship. I'll do this quick. I watched this in 2013. You took a legendary quarterback, brought him to a new team, and they said, head coach, stay the hell out of the way. Peyton Manning run the team. I saw them take a legendary coach, bring him to Tampa Bay. Hey, head coach, stay the hell out of the way. Won a Super Bowl. It's going to repeat itself. A legendary player. You have one of the best defenses in football. No more throw it all over. Peyton Manning did it in Denver. Tom Brady did it in Tampa. Run the ball, play defense, and say to him, hey, Aaron, I need 4 plays a game. Go make a play and be special. The New York Jets over the Cincinnati Bengals. Jets go to the Super Bowl.
Jody's got some good Kool-Aid out there in Colorado. Broncos, Texans win. Kool-Aid. I like the Texans pick with the Kool-Aid, Jody. We'll get Carson's thoughts.
This is for AFC predictions.
Yeah, AFC championship and who's going to represent.
Wow. I'm gonna say Chiefs and Jets, and I'm going with the Jets to win the AFC. I'm with Kurt.
2 for the Jets. Paul, you making it 3?
I have the Chiefs and the Jets as well, but I have the Chiefs winning the game and going to the Super Bowl.
I'm a little different than you guys. I don't have the Jets making it there. Got them falling a little short. I got the Ravens and Chiefs because the Ravens learned from their mistake last year. They brought in Derrick Henry. Run the ball, like Kurt always says, run the ball, play defense. That's what this team's going to do, and do it the best in December when it counts and into January when the playoffs hit. This team is going to represent the AFC because of the running the ball. Derrick Henry could be a dark horse for MVP this year. I know Lamar is going to get all the votes, but don't count Derrick Henry out if they really run the ball and give this guy 15 touchdowns, 12 to 1,400 yards rushing. That's how much I think they're going to use Henry this year. They didn't bring him in just to be a decoy. He's going to run the ball, and he's going to be the difference. So Ravens over the Chiefs for me. I'll piggyback. I'll go NFC real quick. We'll switch the order up. NFC, I got a repeat of last year. I got Carson's Lions and San Francisco. The difference maker this year, Carson, you get the home field advantage. You get an NFC championship game. You're watching with grandma, not at the stadium. You're watching at home and celebrating in the snow or whatever you guys are going to have in Michigan in January.
Yep.
You guys are going to be, doing lots of good things out there. Detroit gets their first Super Bowl appearance against the Baltimore Ravens. Paul.
Yeah, almost word for word. I have the Niners in a rematch against the Lions. I also had them at home in Detroit with those crazy fans begging, pleading for a Super Bowl appearance, and it's going to come through, and this time they're going to beat the 49ers and go to their first Super Bowl and face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Couple comments, Kurt. Jody's thinking this team's going to be a mirror image of the 2006 Saints. Michael's got the Ravens as the AFC Championship. Our good friend David Slade, Colorado Sports Connection, just had a beautiful trip, East Coast trip. They went to a lot of different cities and baseball stadiums. He had a nice trip, sent a lot of pictures out. I know he had a great time. Welcome back home, Dave. Hope you had a safe trip back and everything's going well for you. He likes the pick I made. Ravens are going to be tough. Michael's Detroit in the NFC Championship. Trevor's AFC Champion game is Ravens versus Texans. The Chiefs' defense isn't as good as last year, in his opinion, Kurt. They lost Snead to the Titans. And Jody saying Ravens lost their defensive coordinator. That's a huge loss. Kurt, yours, and then we'll get Carson's last.
All right, mine, it's kind of almost like what you guys are saying. I think the 3 best teams are the Niners, Lions, and Eagles, right? And I just think this is all about home field. If the Eagles get home field, no, the Lions won't. Jared Goff is not going to win in Philadelphia. If the Lions are home, there's absolutely no team that's going to beat them in Detroit. San Francisco is still, I believe, the most overall talent. So I'm going to eliminate Philly, and I'm going to say Detroit and 49ers. Again, if Detroit is home, they will go to the Super Bowl. The 49ers, I love you, Carson. I do. And I think the Lions, I think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl. But I'm just going to go 49ers over the Lions. I think when you have a team that's been the best team the past 4 years and just have not got that one last step, I'm going to go 49ers. So my Super Bowl is, and I'm going to take Kyle Shanahan to get it done. I'm going to go 49ers over the Jets in the Super Bowl.
I like it. Carson, your thoughts? You're the Lion fan. You got the Super Bowl contender on the panel here, so let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, you guys are killing me because you guys are going to jinx me, and I'm so happy Kurt said the Niners. So thank you, Kurt.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. The Lions have never been in this spot before. We really came on the scene last year, made it to the NFC title game, should have been the Super Bowl, but had that horrendous lead that we blew at halftime. But yeah, I mean, we got our defensive coordinator back. We got our offensive coordinator back. We got MCDC at the realm. We got Jared Goff, again, dark horse for MVP this season. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the best O-line in football, the best 1-2 running back punch in football. So, I mean, being a homer, I think I have to put my Lions in there. And who are they going to face off? I was on a cruise ship when this game happened, and the ref picked up the flag, and a bunch of Cowboy fans went nuts, and we're going to break their hearts in the NFC title game, Cowboys versus Lions, and the Lions go to the Super Bowl to face off against the Jets.
Wow. That's funny because Dave sent a comment out earlier for Kurt saying, "Here comes Dak, LMAO." And it's funny that you said that now because Dave mentioned that comment about 2 minutes ago. So that's a bold one because a lot of people are down on the Cowboys. So if you can get to the championship there. All right, Carson, I'm going to go right back to you. Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, why not? I'll be butt-ass naked running down Woodward Avenue, boys. Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this year. We've waited for it for 25 years, and yeah, man, if we win this, it'll be the greatest day of my life. So go Lions. Lions over Jets.
I'll be Baltimore area. A lot of Ravens fans down here. I got Lions, Ravens in the Super Bowl, and I'm not going to jinx you, Carson, because I feel I'm not a jinx when it comes to this. I don't put my foot in the mouth, but the Lions are the team this year. So I'm going to go Lions over Ravens in one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in a long time.
Nice.
Paul.
Carson, it kills me to say this, but
Good.
Listen, there's nothing that this team has shown that they get to this game, that they come through. And Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, maybe, arguably the one of the top 1 or 2 greatest quarterback head coach duos in history. You guys get to the Super Bowl, but three-peat for the first time. Kansas City three-peats for the first time in a very, very close, exciting Super Bowl that you guys, again, will just narrowly miss the golden ring. But I'm picking the Chiefs to three-peat.
One
I
more
like it.
comment before we get Kurt and closing thoughts. Trevor, NFC Championship, Eagles versus 49ers, Carson. He hopes he's wrong, but the Lions secondary worries him. Ravens versus
Yeah.
49ers, with the 49ers winning the Super Bowl.
Nice,
Kurt.
Trevor. I'll take it.
All right.
Super Bowl winner.
Oh, Super Bowl winner, 49ers over Jets.
Okay. I know we're running late, and I apologize. I know you and Jen got a set up for the Broncos show coming up. For those listening, Kurt and Jen, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Kurt, we'll get final thoughts in for you if you want to take
Final
the order.
thoughts, guys, like I started the show. First off, again, thoughts and prayers with all the craziness in Georgia. But it's here, man. It's here tomorrow night. NFL. I will be locked in at 4:05 Eastern on Sunday. I am so excited. Sean Payton, Bo Nix. It's just, listen, we have not had this excitement in years. Broncos have never had a first-round draft pick that they drafted start quarterback opening day. So all of Bronco country is excited, including myself. So I'm ready to go. Good luck to the Giants. Good luck to the Lions. And obviously, good luck to our Broncos. Mr. Carson Shear.
Yeah, great show as always, boys. Love talking sports with you all. And yeah, man, one day I want all of our teams to make the playoffs. It hasn't happened yet, but it'll happen one day. And yeah, good luck this year, guys, with all your teams. And looking forward to it, man. Should be a lot of fun.
Paul.
Great show, guys, as usual. Yeah, thoughts and prayers, as you said, Kurt, down in Georgia. Great NFL preview show. Always a lot of fun. Great comments by everybody. And just to remind everyone, Kenny and I will be starting a Giants pregame show, 11:30s on Sunday mornings for the Giants show Eastern time. So we're looking forward to a quick half-hour pregame show of each Giant game, especially on Sunday mornings.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Great show. Earlier we did Wits and Wagers. Football season's here, guys. It's finally upon us. Tomorrow night, start of the season, Ravens Chiefs. Great game. Friday football as well, guys. Don't forget about the Friday big NFC matchup, Eagles versus Packers. And fantasy football too, boys. Paul's not in the league, but Trevor's in our league. Carson and I facing off week 1. We're going to see who has bragging rights next week right out of the gate. Michael throwing the Lions in there as his Super Bowl champ.
Nice,
and
Michael.
Trevor saying, what a way to bring everyone together. Fantasy football season has arrived. It is almost football season. Great show, guys. And David also saying great show. Everybody, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Again, our thoughts and prayers with the tragic events that happened today in Georgia. Everybody throw, thoughts and prayers with them. So we will see everybody. Kurt and Jen, let's talk Broncos in roughly a half hour.